Hey, Shoreline. This has been a pretty extraordinary week. It has, I think, the kind of feel like maybe that 9/11 had, maybe in some small way. And I don't know about you, but I was reminded of our mission to help people become committed followers of Jesus Christ. And just as a church, as a pastor here at Shoreline, I think that we're still committed to that mission, and we want to make sure that we take advantage of every opportunity we have to reach out to those around us. And so, in that regard, we're just calling um, our initiative during this time of the coronavirus, Shoreline Helps. And really, I think what we want to do is provide tangible care, not only spiritual care, but also practical care for those who would be in need around this time with the unique opportunities that are afforded. And so we have about five different ways in which we're thinking about how we want to approach this time and this season of help. The first way is more of an online way through YouTube Live, what we're using here through what I would call just devotional moments. There's a book by Paul Tripp called A Shelter in Time of the Storm. It's a devotional about Psalm 27. And I think what we're going to do is just walk through some of that devotional together, but really walk through Psalm 27 together. One of the hopes I think we have in that is just being reminded of the fact that our God is He's a refuge in a season of difficulty and uncertainty. And I think also just a reminder to us to keep growing in our faith together through this time period. We've bought 50 copies of the book, and we're going to give them away for free. And our hope is that maybe you would go through that time with us, and even a time of memorization through Psalm 27. So if you have a desire to kind of get back into scripture memorization, this might be your time to do that. I think I'm going to use this time for myself. So we're going to work our way through Psalm 27 together online. Also on Sunday mornings, we're going to just have a time of a collective gathering to some degree, but in an online format through YouTube, where we think through the scriptures together, more of a sermonette type of way. So if that's something that you want to take advantage of at 11 o'clock on Sunday mornings, we're going to offer that. A collective time, but online, just to continue to work our way through this season and be creative as possible to be together, thinking collectively through a scripture, thinking about even things like communion, the kind of songs we sing, why we sing what we're singing, that sort of thing. So we're going to offer that time as well at 11 o'clock on Sundays. And then, again, we don't know what is going to transpire in terms of how many Sundays will be canceled. Or at this point, we have just the one coming up this Sunday, and we're going to reevaluate this next week. So, but we want to just make sure that even for this Sunday, we have a plan. And then I think there's practical implications to what's happening in our community. And so with that in mind, we want to make sure that we're reaching out to those in need in terms of being isolated and those who are at risk. And of course, we can't gather together to help people that way in large groups, but we're going to put together a team of people who can at least address the needs of those who are in isolated and at-risk populations, not only inside our church, just in need of even a simple thing as a phone call, but also outside the church where the needs might be more acute. So we are offering that as well in terms of an opportunity, and we hope that people inside our church would take advantage of that. The fourth piece that we're looking at, I think, is we've been blessed by God to have a building. We know that we're not going to be able to use it in a way to have large groups gather, as we've received the directive from the state's government. But we just had a person walk in the other day, yesterday, I think it was the day before, and they basically wanted just to pray, and we didn't stop that. And we thought, there might be other people who just want to pray. They feel a sense of fear, and maybe being somewhere in and around a church building would afford them that opportunity. And so we don't want to deny that. We want to just be able to set up a clean space, which we've upped our cleaning procedures for individuals or really small groups to gather to pray. And so we're offering times for that as well, not only for people who are inside our church, but even people who might come from the outside. Again, all these things in compliance with, making sure that The groups are not large; they're small, and even just individuals. The last thing I think, as we think about our building, we just had a group of people that would be displaced, individual appointments for music lessons, and that came from one of the colleges that was shut down, and we were happy to be able to offer our space in terms of people who would come in a group of two or three for a simple thing as a music lesson, and it gave us rise to think about how else we might be able to use our building. So our hope is that, as we think about the usage of this building, that we would be open to how we might be able to serve people outside the community during this time period. And I think that's given us really an ability to think more even about how to serve the schools, and to think about how our own students are impacted by having 3 weeks off. And while again we can't gather in large groups, we can think about how to be effective in small groups, and use our building and use the time that we have in this season to reach out. So as we think about that together, we want to just pray, and again just reframe our focus, I think, on the Psalm 27:1. The Lord is my light, my salvation. Of whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? That really is, I think, our theme verse during these uncertain times, and it's our hope that we can work our way through this time, seeing it as an opportunity that God has to deepen our faith, and to really continue to be on mission as a church, to help people become committed followers of Jesus Christ. We want to do that for people inside our church, and we want that message to go outside as well. So we hope you join us as a church community. We be prayerful together in how we do that. All right. We hope you have a good day, and we'll see you soon.